Now she has bionic hearing.
Like vampire hearing?
Yeah, she can hear upstairs now.
Hey, Mom. Mom. Meatloaf. Just kidding. That was me trying to like bleep myself, but also finishing the rest of the quote. Okay, I think I'm almost hit all the live buttons. They're coming. But look, in case you're like scrolling and don't want to hear me talk right now, what the heck is this? Oh, this is Tuesdays with Tori. Woo! And we're joined by my lovely friend here, Mr. Timothy. Sorry, I'm now sharing it to the group. And he's going to talk lube to me. We're going to talk the language of lube. We're going to lube it up. We're going to be all lubed with everywhere to go. After I keep clicking all these buttons. Yay!
How's the new place?
And you know, it's getting there. I put up some art.
Okay.
Right? What's this? I have partial bookshelf. Okay. And there's my gym right now. Right. Later, I'll show you. I'll take you downstairs. I don't know if I told you my sister-in-law was still staying with us until her house was done, which was like a month late. So they just moved over the weekend. And so now it's kind of like unpacking again, but not unpacking. So I'll have a whole office here soon. So everyone can stare at my books or whatever other feng shui decoration that comes my way here soon. It's going to be really fun. But like one thing at a time. We've been here, 2 months now? And I still feel like that's nothing but everything. Like it's the 27th. What happened? I got to do A&ME planning now. It's crazy. But welcome to crazy. If you're new here and you're like, I'm just scrolling, why should I stop here? Maybe not for me, but my fabulous friend here absolutely stopped for the director of sales in the entire North America at CC Wellness. He's going to bring us some sales tips, some merchandising hacks, and just we'll talk the pleasure of pairing lube and condoms with any of your luxury items, and anything else, right? Just why a bigger basket size is important. Like let's just not sleep at the register. Let's make something. Let's make moves. Let's make stories. Let's make money, right? If you've never been here before, hello. Welcome to this fun little diddly web stream podcast, whatever I want to call it at the moment. That's not exactly a polished production, but that's kind of what I love about it. It's growing as this industry is growing and as the needs of the industry are growing. But if you are not into the sort of content that's about to come, which could be about retail strategies as it pertains to the sexual health and wellness industry, that is not limited to sex and condoms and toys and any wellness in between. If that is not your cup of tea, please take the moment to scroll on over, right? Definitely don't want to offend anybody here, but typically we will use anatomical terms. I get shadow banned all the time. This is not a monetized thing, so it doesn't matter. I want it to be, a free but respectful platform. So just giving that disclaimer out there real quick. So why the hell do we care about the show? Because lube is important, and it's not just important because it's a big part of our business. And I love this conversation. If y'all didn't know, I used to have a life in liquids. So I still love selling liquids, and I love, combating sort of bigger, what do we want to call them, narratives, right? Lube always got the, oh, I don't need it. I don't want it. He gets it, right? And now let's walk into this whole episode, some of the stigmas or just like, biases and narratives people have with condoms and their safety. And as it pertains to pleasure, right? Pleasure and or safety are not mutually exclusive. So this is the fun topic for me. But anything consumable, right? Definitely lube. They're not just shelf fillers, right? They're money makers. And we're going to help you kind of tailor into selling it in a thoughtful, strategic way, but not in a salesperson, like what do people say? Like that used car salesman person way. Totally. A lot of this can be intimidating, right? I used to work on the sales floor, and I know not everybody gets the same, brainwash sales training that I did from the limited. So we're going to bring a little sprinkle of Timothy's brainwashing, my brainwashing, and what we've seen out in the universe, right? There's a lot of great strategies in the world, but sometimes it's hard to just apply a very basic strategy as it pertains to our industry, because you still want to be listening to your customers, right? So without further ado, we're gonna try and figure out how to sell them, right? I'm ready. Timothy, do you want to do the condom joke of the day for us, though? That's going to be fun.
The condom joke of the day. All right.
Do you have your notes up?
I do, of course. Okay, why did the condom get promoted at work?
Why? Ooh, Blanca's in Barcelona. Are you ready for the joke?
Because it knew how to handle pressure without breaking. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I thought that goes cute with my little guide to lube as it pertains to condoms and STI protection. Mm-hmm. I know System Joe used to have a whole, it probably still does, where it'll walk through every little like, hey, this one's compatible with this. Because by the way, you can't call it a lube if it's not compatible with condoms. The more you know, right? So there's all sorts of fun resources out there if you and your team have other questions later. This was just one I think is adorable. Also, I think this is adorable.
You know what's funny is I was going through that picture and like there's Brett up in the top left.
Right? No, there's some fabulous people here.
Blanca, you're on this picture too if you're watching.
Blanca, are you here? Look at.
You're like right here.
You see my pointer? It's so adorable. Right? There's Nancy, Tony. Look at, there's Tim, there's me. You could barely tell it was me.
Novinger's on there.
Right? So
Michelle
cute.
Liquid.
And then JB's there, but like, you know, just his little avatar there. Oh my goodness, I saw it. See, we can't not talk about you even when you're in Barcelona.
I love how we got your mid sip of wine in that picture.
You know, I'm pretty sure that circa 2020, there was a whole different set of rules, right? But I love that Timothy's here and been my friend for quite some time from very different sides of the industry and the desk. So thank you again for being here and giving us your wisdom. Oh, I was going to announce things, but I don't know if you want to help me with that or not.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Because I do want you to talk and like introduce yourself, but I'm like, blah, all over the place. It was Starbucks in a glass.
Sure it was.
It's hydration. It's hydration. Okay. I'm on a cider kick right now. I don't know if that really counts of like alcohol, but this is me being Southern.
Okay.
We're doing.
Today was our 4-year anniversary. I started working for you 4 years ago today.
No way! I wish I would have put that on the calendar. That would have been even more special. You know what sucks is I went to. I'm sure I could have gone through the rest of like my iCloud storage, but I did not. Maybe later. I went to the Facebook, right, and I was like, "Are there any cute pictures?" No one's ever taken a picture of me and Timothy. Like, I mean, I'm going to say it's because we're always working and we're always hustling, but now we need to rectify that because that's the one picture we have together that I could find from a Zoom 2020 webinar where we're all just trying to keep our shit together, right? That was good times. Okay, so before we give you all the special sauce, right, and we do the ranting and the fun stuff of the podcast, at least fun for me. Thank you for joining anybody out there. I do have a couple announcements. One being I'm like still floored and seriously from the bottom of my heart, like my little retail nerd heart. My good friend Cherie had to text this to me because I was moving my sister-in-law out this weekend and doing what I was doing in the clouds. And I still can't believe it, but I've never been, that's a big kid category for Businesswoman of the Year. And I did see that Store Erotica has nominated me in there. And we're talking like Susan Colvin is in there. Some crazy, amazing people that have started businesses and run businesses and major thought leaders. So I'm like, I can't even believe somebody accidentally, like, I think it's a typo, but I'm going to make Chris keep it, right? Chris K, like, thanks. I just want to hang out in that category with those people. Maybe I'll even get to meet Susan. So I just need to tell everybody that seriously, it's been a year. And I know it's only the end of May. It's been a quarter, right? And I don't know about you guys, but at least from my side of the desk and where I'm sitting, and I know I've had some personal stuff, it's been a rough year. There's definitely been times I quit on myself. I'm not even going to pretend that I didn't. And you guys wouldn't allow it. And I needed that. So it's really like your nomination. I know that sounds cheesy. I feel like what Anne Hathaway in The Princess Diaries, when she starts chopping up the tiara, I was like, this is everybody's crown. That's me being lame because it's true. I never nominated accidentally. Oh my goodness, you're ridiculous. Congratulations. That's super, super long overdue nominations. Oh, thank you, Blanca. Nathan, I haven't seen you in a minute. This is so fun. Yeah, there's a huge amount of candidates on there. Oh, hello, Coco. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So that's my moment of thanks, and I can't dwell on it too much because then like I'll start thinking about it and I'll start blushing. Is that not insane? I come here and I'll talk to whoever, but like, I don't know. I do have one more to tell you, which is very exciting. And I got to get my banner up here so you guys have the link. But I also, you know, I'm the newest, I'm the baby member on the SWPA board. Therefore, I have to do the things. So I'm excited, but I'm not sure everybody else gets that excited about doing webinars. But I do have a webinar tomorrow. So like Timothy and I are talking about, like, you'll hear it. Storytelling is a huge part of just everyday life. Down to history, down to selling, down to marketing. So today you'll see some of that storytelling wrapped into the tips that we're going to give you as far as like how you're selling commodities, specifically lube, and how they work in your adult stores. But I'll do a general, bigger, like the power of storytelling in sales and marketing. And I think it's at 10 if you're on the West Coast. And it's at, what is that? 1 for me, right? So here's the little shortcut. If you need this, I'll put it in the comments later or whatever. If you want to come. So, wrong movie. That's Lindsay Lohan and Mean Girls. You know what? It's any movie I want it to be. So, you know, come or don't come. Enjoy today's podcast web stream and tomorrow's webinar. That's it. I'm done now. Oh, I lied. Now I got to do the brrr. I got to like announce you like a cool kid. Also, did you see this? Like Streamyard's got like a super chat now. So I don't have to post them. Like Isn't it fun? So if I don't accidentally miss something, but if somebody, I guess if you're posting from P3 and you have a private account, because this is a public whatever, they won't show your picture. You'll just be like weirdo picture person. If you are not my friend, but everybody on here is my friend for the most part anyways. Just wanted to mention that if someone's like, I don't understand this technology. I don't either. One day at a time. Tonight, drum roll. Well, it's tonight for me, technically, this evening. You know, Timothy needs no intro. He's just going to sit there and command things, right? But I'll do it anyways. Timothy Ferencz, the sales director, and 4 years of CC Wellness anniversary today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And he's one of my favorite people in the business, and he's here to help us decode the language of lube. And not just lube on its own, but we're talking about the commodities that go also with any high-end pleasure products, and how they can seriously increase your basket size and improve your like overall customer satisfaction and get that repeat business in. This is like the secret sauce, right? Timothy, anything else you want to add before I like let you add on to that and do all the good things?
Just that Joe is very happy to be nominated for the Store Erotic Awards Best Lubricant Brand for 2025. So if you feel so inclined, please vote for us.
Is voting open right now, or now is it up to the what is it, the academy, so to speak now? I have no idea.
I don't know how they're
We'll have to find
is.
out. Could someone find out? Maybe I'll call Chris later, because usually I see the like you can pre-nom, but like my head's been up in the clouds, so I have no idea. But yes, we'll do another campaign around all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, if I don't see Joe on any of those nominations, I probably would call you and be like, what the hell's going on, Timothy? You know, as a fellow peer, I'd be like, you're slipping. Yeah. What's happening?
Sorry.
No, but like, yeah, if you want to take a minute to talk about how just lube is awesome and how, I mean, I'm a big fan, obviously, of the CC Wellness brands, one of them including System Joe, but I'm biased. Maybe you could convince some other people.
So you want to know what makes it different?
Well, I mean, just what makes you different? What makes the story different there, right? We're kind of talking like, you know, why do we even care?
So one of the things about CC Wellness that I think stands apart is all of our certifications that we have as a company, the 510Ks, the ISO certification, the OTC certification, the USDA certification, the fact that we own our own plant, we do our own manufacturing. We have a crazy chemist named Bruce, which Tori, you're familiar with.
Oh, did you see my smile? I'm so happy he's there with his like little notebook.
Mm-hmm.
And kids, we'll talk later. Hey, Bruce.
And that's one of the things that sets us apart is we have all our own people in house. Like we have our own production facility. We own all that. We own all the manufacturing. We have 6 different lines that run all the time. We have an entire quality control team, an entire regulatory team that just has to deal with the FDA because we have 510K certifications on all our lubes.
Right. And did you know lube is a medical device?
Lube is considered a class 2 medical
working there. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that either. Like when I came over from AVN, there was a lot. I was like gobsmacked at all the, hey, this is all the product knowledge you have to learn. And I kind of went, oh my God, what? As we sat and went through everything on a daily basis. And, when you're using something internally and externally and on your genitals, you obviously want to make sure it's of the highest quality. And for people that don't know about a 510K, there's, I believe, 8 tests that you have to pass in order to get a 510K. And it's penile irritation, vaginal irritation, condom compatibility, osmolality, bacteria and mold testing, shelf stability, that's 6, cytotoxicity, and systemic toxicity. So before we even get a 510K, our lube has to pass all those tests. As you know, it could take up to 2 years to get a 510K, and it's very cost prohibitive. It can be anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 a SKU.
Which is why it's brilliant. You have Bruce, the fabulous lube scientist, right? He can be creative, and you have time to plan out those 2 to 5 year plans.
Right. And I get a lot of questions from associates like, why is a 510K important? And it really boils down to body safety for your customers and giving them a good experience. You want to make sure that,
and it's also required. Like, you know what I mean? Like there are some things you just are not supposed to mess with. And currently right now is the FDA, right? They've got, whether it's the correct safety balance in checks right now, that's a different conversation, but it's also required.
Right. I mean, it's the law. The law says that if you have a product and you have lubricant on the front, you have to have a 510K. And that's just the way it is. I mean,
right. For the reasons you specified. There's sensitivity. There's,
and really, associates always ask me, well, what do I care? And say, well, if you give your product, if you give your customer a product that has been safety tested, they're not going to have a bad reaction to it, and they go home and have a great experience, they come back and buy more from you. If you sell them something that could give them an adverse reaction, they are probably not going to come back to you. If they do, they're going to come back and complain. And then 2, when they're around all their friends and they're talking about it, they're going to talk about, hey, I went to such and such a store. They sold me this product. It was terrible. Don't go shop there. Go shop somewhere else. That's really the negatives of it, is you're ruining the retail experience for that customer when you sell them something that doesn't meet their expectations.
Now the whole thing is soured, because in that little bit of a window where somebody like we're still animals. I know we're like the superior being, right? But our brain is still constantly always sizing everybody and everything up because we want to be safe. Now it kind of looks more like control. It is just natural behavior or type A or whatever. Manic behavior, join us. But it's the same sort of situation, right? Like people, they don't know what they don't know. And that is scary.
Absolutely. One of the things, talk about sales too.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, why is it crucial to train anybody to know this stuff and how to sell condoms with lube and with toys, and not as like 2 separate products, right? An entire basket size for an entire experience.
Yeah, I think everything is complementary to each other. So we talk about with associates, adult retail is destination retail, meaning people are actually coming in for a reason. No one is sitting at home going, hey, you know what, I'm bored. Let's go to Joe Blow's adult store. That's not happening. Like, they'll go to the mall, they'll go to somewhere else. Every person that walks into your store is coming in for a reason. They have something in their mind that they're looking to purchase or get some information on. And so backing up a little bit, one of the things I see in a lot of retail stores is the minute a customer walks in, obviously greet them. Hey, thank you for coming to, whatever store. Thanks for coming in today. And immediately I see associates jump on them and they're like, can I help you find something? Do you have any questions?
I was going to say, what do they say? Yeah. Finding everything okay?
Right. And the customer kind of reacts, and the customer like backs off a little bit. So I always tell people is like, let your customer breathe, greet them when they walk in, make eye contact, and then let them walk around a little bit, because more than likely that customer is going to go to the section of the product they're interested in purchasing. So if they're looking for lingerie, they're going to gravitate to the lingerie section. If they're looking for a lube or a supplement, they will gravitate to that section. If they're looking for a toy, they will gravitate to the section of the toys they're looking for. Your customers, if you let them come in and breathe a little bit, they will tell you exactly what you're looking for. And then obviously,
be a person with your people. Remember, you're selling intimacy. Like, I don't know. I talk about that. The Friedman method, right? They've been around for forever, and how they have like retail archetypes. And it helps me sometimes to remember that that's just the same thing when you're walking. Like, you're going to see your nervous first timer, and you're going to see the partner shopping for a surprise. And then you're going to have the expert that knows more than you. And then you're going to have the shame carrier that kind of doesn't want to be there. You know, they're just, I don't mean you need to basket everybody, right? But they're just kind of, you know, if you can size someone up and you can kind of understand what emotionally they're coming from, right? Then you can have a much better selling experience for everyone.
Yeah. Being good at sales also is being good at reading body language.
That's very true. Yeah. If you have friends that right, do the vibe check, and like everybody has that friend where it's like, it doesn't matter, I've tested it, but you walk into wherever and they're like, no, the vibe check's not done, and you listen to them, that's like those sort of people that you need to be hiring on your sales floor. Mm-hmm. If you love to balance checkbooks and do pivot tables all day and things like that, I would not recommend that person be your front person for retail, right? You do want to hire to people's strengths.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people think too, right now with our industry, consumables, which would be lubes, condoms, supplements, are really, really keeping stores in business because it's repeat customers on a monthly basis. And
which is so important.
Right. Smaller price point, getting people back in the door. Because when people come back in the door to, let's say, to buy a lube or a supplement, that is a chance to actually show them something that's new in the store, upsell them to a different toy, a different type of product that they might not have seen before. So developing those relationships with your customers that come in every single month and that are sort of your regulars, that's important. I was on the road recently, and one of the stores that I was in has a rewards program. And so they get a lot of customers, and she said they had 6,000 people, I think, signed up for their rewards program, which emails coupons and discounts and just...
Keep going, I'm muting.
And nice other things that keeps you engaged with the customer and keeps your store in front of the customer rather than someone else's store.
I can work mute buttons 100%. A lot of those, what was that? Some of the last data I've at least seen is it was something over like 40% of all foot traffic are people looking for a luxury item that vibrates, right? Mm-hmm. So this is not including rubber or commodities or lube or anything. 40%, that's a huge chunk of your business is coming in looking for education and to buy and ask questions about a toy. That some of them have a 15-year warranty. I would like to see you before the 15 years, but most people will need a reason to do that, especially if you're one of the nervous shoppers, right? If I don't have to go in there ever again, I'm never maybe going to get out of my little shell, right? Or I'm just going to stay online. But right, giving someone the experience to talk about and making sure they go home with all that experience. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Can you go? I'm busy. Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, dog's barking. We got Mom's dusting. I love it. Hey, Mom. You're so cute. You're such a professional. I'm like, bring her in. What do you got on the shelves? You know I collect mason jars. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's later. You know what? This is the best part of everybody says it, where it's like, oh my goodness,
when you're live,
family. Oh yeah, live too. I think that just makes it, the whole show is being authentic, right? So if I don't know something I'm figuring out, we're gonna figure it out together, right?
Well, she's barged in on Zoom calls before. She doesn't care.
But I love the fact that we can thrive and be authentic in this environment. And there's some places that you can't. There's that whole corporate undercurrent of scoreboard or whatever. It's like, if anything, you get called out for not being you in this industry, right? Like it's not doable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple other important things in the sales are when you're an associate, I know a lot of them will be like, well, I like this. And you have to sell on what you think the customer is going to like. So you have to listen and give them a toy that's going to suit their needs that maybe doesn't suit your needs. And so you have to go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't find it safe. And I don't mean to you on anybody or project on anybody, but I've had other people come to me and be like, I can't sell any of this stuff, or like fetish items, right? You don't have to be into any of those. Those could not be your fetish and or your kink, but you should still know how to sell it. There are plenty of ways to sell it based off of, sales data, information that the manufacturer or the reps are going to give you that have nothing to do with whether you've used it or not.
Mm. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people come in and ask an associate, hey, well, what do you use or what do you recommend? And I would say, well, I use this product for this use, but what are you going to use it for? What are you looking for? What benefits? I always say that lube is kind of like buying a car, because there's formulas, there's textures, there's viscosity, there's all different types of formulas. And so you have to pick something that you like and that your body likes and that maybe tastes good.
It was like a test driving car, like right. Joke in there. Kabumsh, like you got to take them off for a ride. And
it's 100%, because if you ask someone what kind of car they like, they can be like, well, I bought it because of the color.
Or I feel good in it.
Right. It fits good. Like when I sit in the seat and I like the way it drives. Same thing with lube. Depending upon the formula, the slickness, how long it lasts, you have all these different varieties and variables that go along with lube. And so picking one is basically like buying a car.
Right. It's not just
that
a medical device. It's an enhancement.
Right.
It just enhances everything. That toy that you were purchasing, if you're not getting your lube and say your cleaner, and then, you got to add your condoms for whatever activity you're looking forward to at some point, I'm assuming because you're an adult enjoying your privilege, you're not going to enjoy that toy the way that you felt in your brain because you didn't give yourself enough time to ask the questions. My favorite when somebody comes up as like, oh, what do you use or blah, blah, blah. I'm always just like, okay, well, tell me why you didn't like that one, or tell me why you don't use lube. That will help me filter down what it is that you're looking for without me jumping on you and go like, oh, hey, what do you need? Are you shopping for somebody or are you shopping for yourself? Right. Like at some point, enjoy your job. Right. I don't want to sound like a machine all the time. It bugs me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because you hear other people talk about training and it's always like, ask open-ended questions. And like, that's sales training 101. You have to get into something a little bit more, something with a little bit more depth. I'm someone who likes to get to the point right away. I've always trained associates when they walk up to the lubricant section that the first question you should ask is, have you ever purchased lube before? Because that's going to qualify your customer. It's going to tell you you're dealing with somebody who's new.
I don't need it. I get plenty. And, I don't want to offend him I'm fine. I'm not 40 yet. I don't need any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then it's tell me, okay, tell me what experience you're looking for. Tell me what is your bias with lube? Like, I'm curious. And then I really am curious because, hey, that's great knowledge to take back somewhere. But oftentimes they'll tell you what happened. And it's like, oh, great. You were using expired lubrication, or do you know water-based exists, et cetera, right? You don't have to force anything on anybody, but educate. That's what we do.
Right. And when you ask that question, again, you qualify the customer. So the customer, if they're like, oh, yeah, all the time. Okay, great. Do you like silicone? Do you like water-based? Do you have a preference in brand? And then you can actually assume the sale and close on it really easily.
That's such a Virgo thing of you to say. Not only is it like, I'm just going to get it done, I'm going to cut through it all, and then it's done. Like, you seriously were just like handled. But that is a great strategy as well. Like, you should always assume the yes.
Right. Always assume yes. And the one thing, too, is customers don't want to spend a half hour in a store and all that kind of stuff.
Anymore.
A lot of people want to come in, they want to get what they want, and they want to get out. And so when you're assuming that sale, especially when you're talking about lube, and if you can cut to the chase a lot faster, they're appreciative of that. They're appreciative of respect your time. If you don't want to walk around, great. You're coming in. You can tell the customer that walks in with that assured walk and confidence, and they head right to a section. They know they're there to buy something. So talk to them, get the information you need, close the sale. I always train associates too. Like, does everybody know how to close a sale? Hey, great. Can I take that and hold that for you at the register? That way it's almost committing to the sale. A lot of people are going to feel guilty if they have you do that, and then they walk out without purchasing that item.
Well, and you don't want to sell anybody anything out of guilt, but we're just talking like, this is just marketing. This is the psychology, right? Nobody consents to any of this. This is just what is happening in our world. So we're just trying to make sure that you can fit in it too. Right. Sometimes people, my favorite, but you were saying someone just like walks over to a little section. That's the easiest time for me to be like, hey, I noticed you're hanging out in the pills. Tell me what your need is. Right. And then from there, it seems people, again, if you pass the vibe check, most people, especially in an intimate space, they could be very shy and very nervous and hesitant, but for the most part, they're there because they want some help, right? So for the most part, they want to be able to trust you. They want to be like, hey, BFF, help me with this. You know, it's in a lot of stores, they have to do like ID checks. It's a perfect opportunity to not have to be like, hello, welcome in, folks, you know, and do the whole kit and caboodle. Just, hey, I got to check your ID and start asking questions there.
Yeah, like you mentioned supplements, like people walk up to the supplement aisle and they know exactly what they're looking for. Most of the time, they're like, I want 2 of those, 1 of those, because they've used that product before. And then you have the other half that comes in, they're like, what do you recommend? What's your strongest? What's selling? Yep. What's the hottest seller?
Yeah. Okay, what's the strongest, right? Yeah.
What's the strongest? What do you have good feedback on? And then, like you said, most of these customers are coming in aren't as educated. So they're relying on the associates to educate them. And again, that's where you have to say, okay, what's best for this customer, not what I like personally. Because what you like personally might not work for that customer. So you need to ask the customer, okay, well, if I've got supplements over here, lubes over here, like what are you going to use it for? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? And then let me recommend something. Not immediately, well, I use this. This works for me.
Do we typically buy anything without getting a feeling in return, right? Shopping is emotional. I know there's still like things we need, but when I go and pick the milk that I go purchase, I pick the one that A, I can afford because that makes me feel good. And B, you know, the one that makes me feel good because in my head, I feel like I'm getting the right nutrition or whatever it is. It's all part of, right? This entire world could all just be a projection of your mind. We don't even know. So it's like, you might as well just make it a good time in your head. So, you know what's happening, but be open to the experience. I guess that's my point, right? Like, do you think that the best place to put your lube is just in its own lube section?
I highly recommend cross merchandising.
Go on. Or smart cross merch ideas, right? That's what I'd call them, to be savvy. Like what else should they be nearby, right? And how does that tell a story?
Well, here's the thing. Every toy section in your store, whether it's vibrators, dildos, masturbators, etc., needs to have a lubricant. So it also needs a toy cleaner. Now, there's a lot of stores where you walk in and the customer's buying a toy and, you know, they've been helped by the associate. They bring it up to the register. And at the register, the associates have said, oh, well, do you need a toy cleaner or a lube with that? By the time the customer has gotten to the register.
And that was a yes, no. I could just say no.
They have already committed to the sale and they're probably not going to buy anything else. So when they're on the sales floor, if you cross merchandise, lubes and toy cleaner within certain sections, you're subconsciously reinforcing to the customer that they need to purchase that product along with the toy. And then you're letting them know when they walk up to the masturbators. We all know penis owners don't self-lubricate. So therefore, when I use a masturbator, I need to have a lubricant. And then I need a cleaner because I got to clean afterwards.
What experience is that customer looking for, right? Have you asked? How are they going to get there with the item in their hands, right? They might need some other additional items to make it work. Otherwise, it's going to be like, hey, this is stupid. I'm returning it.
Right. Also, there's touch points in retail. So how many times is your customer going to stop at different sections of the store? Like when it starts to get to 3 to 4 to 5, they're like, I'm out of here. So if you cross merchandise, lubricants, and toy cleaners within certain toy sections, you're eliminating multiple touch points, which gives decision fatigues. Next to crotchless party. Crotchless parties? Blanca, what is a crotchless party?
Ooh, that's that Barcelona stuff. Ow,
I guess.
And the jock straps. Hey, but that does tell a great story, right? Throw your condoms in there too, because they work great with toys, multiple partners. We have less cleanup. If people don't want to have to deal with the fluids, it's fabulous, right? Great experience for all because everything's lubed and cleaned and it's going to get charged and everybody's going to be safe. We don't have to worry about the stuff. Isn't that truly sexy? I can't chill out if I don't feel safe, period. She goes, panties. Okay.
But it's also about stigma. So like when people go to shop in an adult store, they don't want to spend a half hour in there, 40 minutes. So if they're coming in to buy a toy, you know, if you have the lubricants and toy cleaners in a section that's moving a lot of toys, again, they can just walk up, grab what they want, grab their lube and toy cleaner and go up to the register. They've got everything. That also, as an associate, you're recommending it right when they're standing there, looking at their product going, oh, and oh, great, you're going to purchase that. You do need a toy cleaner because that material is X material. You can't use dishwashing soap. Can't put in the dishwasher. You do need a specialized cleaner for that. Also, it works
By the
better
way,
with
you do
lube.
need to clean it. It doesn't self-clean.
Right.
Leaving it in the shower does not count.
But it's much easier while you're in the sales process of the toy to recommend those additional items and upsell rather than having them all get to the register already committed to that purchase. Then it's like, oh, I got to spend another $30. Like,
Well,
I'm
and
already
then it
spending
makes sense.
$60 on a toy. Yeah.
It's part of the story you were already telling, because you're asking this person what they were wanting to get out of, like, what experience are you looking for in the toy, right? So now that we're already talking about how you use this and what the functions are, these are how they work the best. Right. You don't have to be a weirdo about it.
And again, using this, say like we use hints and tips and tricks. Like if a customer picks up a toy, the associate should know what the material is of, and then to be able to recommend and say, oh, by the way, did you know that that toy is made of this? Therefore, you can only use this kind of lubricant with it. And then you do need a specialized cleaner. So we use hints, tips, and tricks, which builds trust with your customer and increases the opportunity that you're going to close the sale a lot better. So
I love it.
Yeah.
It's selling the feeling and not just the function, right? What would be kind of your best advice for turning lube from an afterthought, right, and like a medical necessity and not sexy, into an experience enhancer, right? Like on the sales floor when you're dealing with all this miscommunication and this bias.
So definitely you got to have testers. So if you have testers of your vibrators or your toys, you should have testers of all your lubes, because that way people can see and feel if they're going to get the texture and like it, rather than when they get home, they're like, oh, this one doesn't really feel my vibe. And you should have testers of all your different brands. That way your customer, like I said, it's picking a car. It's like driving a car. You go to 5 different dealerships to look at 5 different cars. When you go to the lube section, you should be able to test out all the different lubes. Find out which one you like, which ones, which viscosity you like, which thickness do you like, how slick it stays, does it dry out as fast? That's like in our trainings, we have the associates test all the lubes. They get to feel the differences between everything, so they know and how to explain that and sell that to the customer. So you definitely need testers, absolutely.
Testers help a lot, but you can't always tester everything. We understand that, especially post-pandemic. I see so many of those signs still that it's like, don't take the toys out of the boxes. Like, I need to, which I can understand. You don't know people's hands and all those things. So yeah, when you don't have testers, it's a lot harder for any associate to close that sale. But also, if there's no testers, I would say, or like if you're really busy, sometimes that happens, and maybe you're the only one on the floor. That's why merchandising is also so important. And we kind of talked about it a little bit. I would make sure your merchandising is not only telling the story and an easy story for someone to find what they're looking for, but it needs to be educational, right? Because you don't want to lose maybe this panic customer, right? And they're hanging out in the lube section. They might not realize that, hey, a flavored lube is also still a lubricant, right? So if you have great signage, not clutter anything, and you're doing great marketing and you've got your top sellers where they need to be, part of that sale's already done for you.
Definitely. Yeah. And again, it's a great upsell. A lot of retail stores are tracking average dollar transactions and UPTs, which is units per transaction. And if you have a customer who's coming in and spending $50 on a toy, it's really not that hard to get them to upsell on like a $12 to $15 bottle of lube. So,
I mean, if I'm investing in, dude, I was one of the ones with the $500 womanizer back in the day. Now it's just like a collector edition. But people are investing in their wellness and their partnerships and in their pleasure. So how am I supposed to take care of my investment?
Right. Absolutely. And you got to tell them that. You'd be like, look, if you don't clean this properly or use the correct lube, it's going to degrade and then you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like a cost per use basis. I mean, this is some basic math.
Data-driven decisions with storytelling. You can do that too. Yes. If
you look at like our 7-ounce bottle of toy cleaner, and Brendy actually sat there and was like 1, 2, and like counted how many pumps.
Oh, she would, and I love that she did. Brendy, shout out. That rocks.
And so we train a lot of cost per use. Like, hey, if you buy this product, it's X amount of dollars. It's going to give you X amount of uses. Well, unless you're like freaky deaky, that's going to last you a couple months, I mean,
and hey, if you're freaky deaky, that's great. We want that return business. Okay. Come back to your people and say how great it was. And, you can try it. That's, again, another reason to have testers and or samples out there, right? If you do have those regulars that, hey, I'm just grabbing the pills I like today. What do you have? Oh, well, here's a sample of this new condom and or lube for whatever adult activities you may have. And now that person's coming back anyways because you've now made a regular.
Right. Like we talk merchandising. I love stores that have a table of what's new and what's hot.
Yeah.
So the regulars that are coming in who are just coming for a supplement or just coming for lube or just coming for condoms can look at that table and go, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at that. That catches my eye.
Right.
I might want to pick that up and try it. Or, hey, you know what? The last toy that I've had was like 3 or 4 months old, kind of getting used to it. Maybe I want to pick something else up that's new.
Is anybody watching right now that's in retail or doing merchandising on the floor? I just want to know if it's still this way. It was always like kind of like a big, how do you do competition where it was like, if you could do the front table, right? Like getting your hands on the merchandising first and having like the best, like just shoppable table. It was always like a big, like, you know, oh, I'm the one doing the table or not, or I had the better table, right? I don't know if it's still me being slightly competitive sometimes. I remember it was kind of just like a super fun, big deal and like an honor to be able to touch the main table. But that front table is such a huge shopper. Like even in my brainwasher days, right? Like Macy's, those tables are huge, right? All your top sellers, all your new stuff, any zone one typically needs to be your new merchandise.
Right. Yeah, you hit them as soon as they come in. So you show them all the new stuff. What's up, Trace?
Tracy! Are you in Barcelona too? Barcelona? Someday I'll get there. Okay. I'm going to do rapid fire here soon, but I just want to give it a minute for anybody that's joining. Timothy's here. We're talking how to sell things and feel more confident on the sales floor because it's not easy out there. So how do we be strategic and make it smart? Any last like guidance on why, you know, being confident on the sales floor, even if you don't know everything, is and bringing lube and condoms into your sale can just deliver both, right? You'll get that confidence in your sale, but also you'll be able to increase your basket size, right?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Lube, condoms, and supplements are much easier sale than a toy. Because all these toys out there have different forms, different function, rumble patterns, vibration patterns. It's a lot more complicated than lubricants. So a lubricant is a much easier sale for customers because really we only have water-based, silicones, hybrids, flavors. Like that's your 4 major categories. So
and it's not usually a $200 purchase, right? Like it's not usually a $200 purchase, which some of these like luxury high-end toys can be.
Right. Yeah, I mean you could have a 1 ounce or 2 ounce bottle and it's everything, the $20 rule, it's less than $20. People are more apt to spend and not break a $20 bill.
That's a lipstick effect back in the what was it, the first depression, where you actually saw lipstick commodities go up in makeup counters because people they couldn't afford anything, but they still wanted to look nice. So instead of buying a lot of colors, they would just buy their one lipstick.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, you should really train your associates to focus on those consumables right now, which is lubricants, condoms, and supplements, because a lot of those are repeat customers, and those are what are keeping the stores in business right now. So focus more on the trainings, reach out to your manufacturers, get your associates trained on the products. And again, like we train more, not just ingredients, but how to sell our product line and how to upsell it to everything else in the store. You know, we also have a wide variety of products beside lubricants. So stimulants, prolongers, et cetera, massage oils. And we teach how to train and how to sell those within your category and within your store. Tell your customer or tell your associates, look at the box the customer's picking up. What is that product telling you about the customer? So we train clitoral stimulants. When you see customers buying roses, you should know, okay, that person orgasms from clitoral stimulation. That, hey.
Or at least that's the experience they're looking for.
Right. And then you'd be like, well, hey, have you ever tried a clitoral stimulant? Most of them have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. What is that?
Right. And then you can educate them and teach the customer about all these ancillary products that match with the toys that are going to enhance that experience. Because if you give your customer a mind-bending orgasm, toe curling, eyes rolling back in the head, they're going to come in and shop more from you. They're going to tell all your friends. They're going to go to book club, like where Tori goes, and talk about the fact that they bought this rose and they bought this clitoral stimulant and they had the best orgasm ever. And they're going to tell all their friends, and then their friends are going to come in the store and shop from you.
tell me I'm wrong. If my girlfriend or one of my colleagues, somebody that like even I just slightly respect, an acquaintance says, "Oh no, this is the product I use, or this is the restaurant I go to, or whatever," I'm already checking it out. I'm already sold. The hard stuff is done for me. Is still, I mean, tell me I'm wrong. It is the best campaign, right? Like you could spend $10,000 on a Google SEO and you can track it a little better, but that word of mouth and that sample, it just can go so much farther.
Right. And think about this. How many of you have not gone to a restaurant because a friend of yours went and had a bad experience?
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Same thing with any other retail store, including adult. If you go and shop at an adult store and have a bad experience, most likely you're talking to your friends about it, and they're going to avoid that store like the plague.
Well, we get it. You can't control everything. Sometimes the customer's in a bad mood. Sometimes you're trying to leave what you can outside. You're not going to hit everything. We're just giving you, we didn't even make up these formulas. We've just been using them. We're just regurgitating the filter that is, we've been in the adult industry. So some of these strategies work. Let me help you. Right.
Yeah. But again, in the retail environment, I think managers and owners need to retrain associates to make lubes and other supplements and everything a priority, because of that repeat customer basis and the fact that it's an easy upsell and can increase your UPTs and your average dollar sale. So really, it's really important to train your associates on it and on how to sell it and how to upsell the product.
And you know what? Your customer doesn't know what they don't know. So if you don't ask them, you don't ask, the answer is already no. It's already not happening.
Right.
So, be brave. You can talk to your customers. It's okay in a world of social anxiety. I know you Gen Xers don't want to talk to people. We'll be okay. Mm-hmm. I love how everybody's like connecting right now. Like, hey, Michelle, hey, Tracy, hey, Blanca. Like, where are you guys all at? Everybody like at the same bar in Barcelona? That'd be awesome.
They're in Florida. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of right now we're in a tough retail climate. So it's going to take a little more selling.
Economic climate all over the place.
Yes. Fair. It's going to take a little more selling at the retail level to get the sale. And so you have to use different methods to talk to your customer, build that trust, become that wealth of knowledge with them. And also when you do that, they rely on you for your knowledge. It helps close the sale. They're going to be like, this person actually knows what they're talking about. Oh, bitty Floridians. Right? It's like blue hair happy hour.
I think I can drive to you now, though. So I got to figure that out. I got to meet you for some blue hair happy hour. Ooh, Florida. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're either in Barcelona if you're Blanca, or you're in Florida if you're the cool club of Tracy and Michelle. Yes. Michelle, this is actually, you're on today, and it's kind of beautiful because, like, we love the Michelle anyways. But if you didn't know, like, Timothy's been my friend, but then also because Michelle was close with the Timothy. The whole, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Michelle and Timothy is the long and the short, or just like anybody here, right? That the fact that it truly is an industry of, if you're brave enough to put you out there is where I'll caveat, and that's not easy. They'll pick you up, but you got to be willing to do the work, and you got to be willing to be accountable for your own fuck ups. But Michelle, no, she's a fucking kick-ass lady. I should get her on the show here soon.
Yeah, she's never been on.
I know. Well, she's been super, super busy, but now that we have had the Leah, maybe she can. Yes, that is the word I'm looking for. We've all come full circle. I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get some Maxtasy on here, Miss CEO. Talk about another really cool just innovation product, and they're doing a lot more couple things in a masturbator. Like, I think it's amazing. Talk about storytelling, right?
Yeah. Like, here's the thing, 22 years ago, I was selling gay porn DVDs to Tracy when she was a triplex. So that's how far we go back.
What the fuck? I want to come, Ladybug. Oh my God, I'm getting you. Like, what, June? Wait, what about the 17th? I'll email you. Okay, I'm going to put it on the calendar. Any other questions for the Timothy out there before I make him do the quick? These are from my clips. This is for your fun clickbait later, where we do the rapid round, the slippery truth. Bum, bum, bum.
I mean, one of the things too that I'm seeing a lot of stores do is bundles.
Ooh, bundles. Yes.
Where it takes the decision-making process out, where like pick a toy that's doing really well, grab a lube, grab a little toy cleaner. Ours come in 1.7 and 2 ounces now. So travel size. Friendly. And maybe a 1 or 2 ounce lubricant, and pair them with a toy. and maybe offer your customer a little discount to buy it all at once. But again, it takes that decision fatigue out where someone can come in and go, oh, I'm just going to buy all this. It's all set for me. That's a lot easier than going, okay, now I'm buying this toy. Okay, do I need a lubricant? Do I need a toy cleaner? Put it in front of them so they don't have to make that decision. They can just go and do it.
Even had to discount before just because I put it in like some cellophane bag or something. I put some ribbon, I put a little, elbow grease into it. And it's, same price, but because it's already done and thought done. Like I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to go. Yeah. Bundles are a big hit right now. Okay. Confirmed. That rocks. Well, if anybody needs help bundling, we got lube and condoms that are here to help you out with that. Is that
yeah, Michelle, that's Barb. She was dusting in the background earlier. You missed it.
Oh, she can catch it on the replay. Live show. Okay. This is way too much fun right now. I know Tracy's like, love her. This is why you get your own show that's not monetized, because it's just your friends fucking around, right? And then we'll be like old fogies and like watching the replays in 30 years. It'll be adorable. Okay. Slippery truth time.
Okay.
What in your opinion, what's the most underrated use for lube?
2, like silicone for your tattoos.
Okay.
And then squeaky door hinges.
I'd also say scars. Silicone really helps with, believe it or not, not getting scar damage.
Yeah. I've used it on my several that I have.
It's just something I didn't know until I started working in lube, right? It's like a lot of the same stuff that the doctors will give you in that medical cream. It's like
most of what is it? The Mederma?
Yeah.
Is just silicone.
Uh-huh.
So.
What's the weirdest item you've seen merchandised next to lube?
Oh God. Maybe like keychains or something.
Okay.
Like
lube and a keychain. Got it.
Yeah. I was like, what? But hey, go for it.
Yeah. You know what? If as long as that space is moving that product, we'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
One sales myth you wish retailers would forget.
One sales myth. God. Oh, that's a good one. Let's come back to that.
Okay. Your walk-up song, right? If this is an entrance like wrestling, right? But you're walking into the retail song onto your training, right? What's the song?
Missy Elliott, Get Your Freak On.
Get your freak on. Quiet. Is that the part?
Mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Spit it out.
Spit it out. In your face.
And it's funny because if you watch the video, LL Cool J's in there, Busta Rhymes, Ja Rule, Ludacris, Eve. Like most people don't know that, but all those people are in there.
Cherie says it should have been Paint the Town Red. Bitch, I said what I said. Did you move? Did you merchandise the way I said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't encourage me, Michelle, as she loves this, because
we usually like when we go on the road. Yeah, Tracy plays the DJ, and we listen to the most ratchet music.
Oh my goodness, I love it. You know what? Sometimes you need it. There truly is like psychologically, your brain needs that, like not just the dopamine of it, but just like moving that stagnant energy and just being ridiculous. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was the hot 2 part for you, right? Spit's not lube, it's just water. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. We can do better. That's a different episode. Okay. What lube name hasn't been made, but absolutely should be made, right? Like, what was it? My examples, Frank and Gracie's, right? It was supposed to be like slip inside.
That's a good one.
Right? But nobody ever made it.
What's funny is I would just call it stick it in.
Stick it in. Okay. That's a good one.
Right to the point. Tells you what it is. Just stick it in.
My Virgo. Hey, every Libra needs their Virgo. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness. I love road trips with Tracy. I will have a travel budget someday. But
Holy
for now,
water. Okay, that's good.
With this podcast. Oh my God, that is kind of hilarious. That's 2 points. 2 points for
put like a cross and like a little rosary on it or something.
Yeah.
They can sell at the Vatican.
I love road trips with you. We turn it into karaoke. You got to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'd call my lube? Finger my brain. Something about it, right? She'd probably make it sound better.
You can't finger my hole unless you finger my brain.
Yeah. But so wait, how do you make that into marketing? That's too long for a name. But think about this. Finger brain, finger my brain. I don't know. Marketing teams, assemble. We'll work on this. Okay. Back to the sales myth that you wish retailers would just forget.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait, here's our answer. Throat hug.
Throat hug. Okay. All right, Sheree.
That's pretty great.
Sales myth that I wish everybody would.
Like, some people think, oh, nobody wants me to talk to them. No, I actually do want you to say something to me. You don't need to stalk me, right? Like, I would like help.
I mean, I guess the one sales myth is don't jump on your customer as soon as they walk in the door.
Yeah. You're not a used car salesman.
Like, greet them, yes, but don't be like, let me know if you have any questions. Can I help you find something? It's manic in some places that I go into. It's like, again, let your customer breathe. Let them feel comfortable. Let them walk to wherever in the store that they want to go shop. They're going to tell you what they want to buy.
We all know it's hard right now. We're all watching our, as Sheree would say, nickels, pennies, dimes, everything. So, we get it, but I guess no one wants to smell like desperation in a nice way. We know your sales manager is probably on you to make sure you're closing everything, and they're staring at your conversion or whatever's happening because they're trying to make it make sense. And a lot of times the easiest way to do that is with data, but try not to let it affect your sales experience. Right. And if you need help, that's why you call Timothy. He'll help you with the selling of the lube and not just product knowledge, right? Product knowledge is very important because you need to know, right, the speeds and feeds, the key differences. But if you don't know how to get someone to add to their basket size because you don't know what experience you're selling, we absolutely can help you with that.
And it's funny because I was training some stores a couple of weeks ago. And we're at the front with cash wrap. We're talking about this whole thing about let the customer breathe. The customer walks in. And, we're in the middle of a training, so I'm like, always stop. And Christopher Huffman says you need a little foreplay with your customers. Okay.
I like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's good advice, right? Like if you're in the store for an experience, like why wouldn't you need to warm up your customer a little bit? It's all part of the.
And we were just talking about this, and a customer walked up, and they were like, "Hi, thank you. Welcome to so and so and so and so." And she was like, "Can I help you find something?" And he was like, "Nope, I know exactly where I'm going." He walked by her, and she's like, "Okay, well, let me know if you have any questions." And I was like, I cringed because I was like, we just went over this. You greeted the customer. He knew exactly what he wanted. He was walking to that section, but you jumped on him and he kind of, nope. And it was a little short. He was like, no, I know exactly what I want. So you have to judge body language and let them breathe.
You're over here by the Rhino. Did you see we got the XXXXX one now, or the da one, right? Like, just.
I think people complicate the sales process.
Yeah, we're stressed out too much.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than everyone that makes it out to be. It's not this big, complicated process. Like super easy. Greet your customer, let him breathe, let him feel comfortable in the store. Like Chris said, little foreplay. Let them walk around a little bit, see if something catches their eye. Then when they're comfortable, that's when you want to approach them and be like, oh, hey, I see you're looking at the masturbators. Is there a brand you're looking for? Is this for you? Is this for someone else? That's when you start asking those questions. But again, let your customer get comfortable in the store before you attack them. Because I've seen a lot of customers turned off by that and they end up leaving.
I won't leave though, but I'll shut you down and I'll just grab what I want, and then you can't sell to me because I'm just one of those people.
Right. We know those stigmatized customers that are in there like, oh my God, I'm in this adult store. When you get on them like that, they will turn around and walk out.
Yeah,
because they're going to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, sometimes it is a lot, right? You gotta try to meet people where they're at, and sometimes it's a lot for somebody to even walk into this store right now.
Right.
Oh my goodness, so many good tips today. I just had to write down some for my webinar tomorrow. So many good selling, right? It all comes back to what experience, what story, what emotion are you looking for? And it's not just, oh, you can only do that with whatever products. It works with the ways that we can sell too, right? This is what I love, right? I can take these like crazy big like formulas and we can break it down to like what we're actually selling. Because not a lot of people have been able to do that.
Really selling to a customer shouldn't feel like selling at all.
No, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about. Like,
yeah.
Are you hiring the right person for the right seat then? If you have someone who's truly miserable on the sales floor, I get it. We all have to work. We all need to have a purpose. We all need to put food on the table. But, right, also know, at least in this space, you are selling pleasure. I take myself seriously because I care about my work ethic, but like I don't take myself too seriously.
Right.
I'm selling some fun stuff. I would hope that you leave this store excited and not like bummed out, because even though we are talking about like sexual wellness, I don't want you to leave like it's the doctor's appointment or like, here's all the things you need to do. Come back in a month, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why when I talk to Sotis, I'm like, look, you guys are in a really great space. You know, people are coming in, they're all pretty friendly, kind of open-minded about everything. You're not having to schlep at Starbucks with somebody with a 20-thing order and they're screaming at you and all that. It's a different customer that's walking into the store. So I think a lot of the associates should appreciate where they're at, because
there's not a lot of places where you sell anymore,
right,
besides like the dispensary.
Right. And I mean, a lot of customers coming into, like you said, it's always qualified. Somebody's coming in because they want something. So that takes away half the battle of sales, because you know someone walking in there is looking for lingerie, toys, lubes, or supplements, or one of the other product categories. They're not.
And guess whose numbers are all messed up? The people that are in those strip malls, the Spencers, right? Love them, but also it's a completely different model. Their conversion's all messed up because of where their location is, right? A lot of the other independent retail stores out there are maybe the only one for a long time. So you are a destination place.
Right. Absolutely. And so when you're a destination place, 50% of the sales battle is done because every customer that's walking in is qualified.
Right. Oh, and
so
Michelle, brilliant. Most of the time, the customer is buying something they want, not what they need, right? Or they're like me, it's like, I need this, I must get off, right? Or whatever it is, it's market research. But again, it's that same sort of, you don't go through the time and effort to walk into the store if you're not making a purchase.
Right. And part of that, like what Michelle said, we were talking about earlier, is you have to sell the customer what they want or what they need, not what you want and you need.
No, it's not the Tori show on the floor.
Right.
Not at all. It is enter customer's name show, right? Mm-hmm. Make it fun.
Yeah. I mean, find out what's important to the customer. You know, is it, you know, some people buy a vibrator because of the color.
Yeah.
You may like something, but, I want it in blue. Okay, well, here's a blue one. Here's what the blue ones are.
Yeah, you know, maybe somebody needs 2 motors, or, you know, is very attracted to packaging, or needs, you know, it's you don't know what's going to get it for somebody.
Yeah. And also one thing we talked about, I was at a training a long time ago, and people were talking about don't assume someone's price point, which I think is really great. Don't assume because what they walk in, what they're wearing, that they can't afford anything. So I live in Los Angeles, and
I was going to say, do you have a story you were wrong? I've got several where it's like I assumed in my head, and then all of a sudden that black American Express just drops on the cash wrap.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I live in LA and in Hollywood, and so you have people that are tons of money, and they dress like bums. And you would never assume that this person has a ton of money because they're so low key. So don't assume that about your customer that walks in the store, about what they can afford or what they can't afford. It's much easier to start at a higher priced item and work your way down than start at a lower priced item and work your way up. So don't be afraid to go for it. I also am always, don't be afraid to ask. Like, hey, what's your price point? People will be pretty honest.
Yeah,
and then if someone says like $50, show them something that's 70. And be like, hey, I know you said this, but this has a lot more features. And it sounds like from what you're telling me, this might fit you better. And if they really are interested in it and really want to buy it, they're not going to quabble about $20.
Yeah. It just, again, it's the same. What I love about being able to do what I do, just like kind of curating all the condoms in like this master distributor space, is it's like, I'm able to filter out the other stuff for you fairly quickly. Right. And we can play for that. Like it'll just happen. It'll be done. Nice. Wow, it's already an hour. Whoops. Okay. I guess I got to wrap it up. This was good.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Good. I mean, I love having you. I love checking in and like bugging you. And now we've got so many other ideas that I want to talk about for some other episodes, because now I can't quit. Y'all keep like watching and wanting to participate. So now I have to keep going. Okay, so I'm going to do just like, you know, your just final thoughts for the Timothy, right? Give you your space for any other ranting or last minutes.
Sure.
You know, if there's one piece of advice you give any of the retailers out there, you know, just to stop treating commodities, especially lube, as like, you know, nothing to pay attention to, and start treating them as something that can help not just like your overall revenue, but your margin too, and your customer experience. Like, where do you start?
Education. You got to have your associates not only know about the product, but how to sell the product. And that's what, like, one of the things we go over is it's great to know that a silicone is dimethicone and dimethiconol. but
what does that mean?
What does that mean to your customer? Like, who's your customer for? We train who's your customer. Who is the person buying this product? Who's going to walk in your store that this product fits to? Like hybrids. Hybrids are a great lubricant for somebody who doesn't want to spend a lot of money and doesn't want to buy multiples. You can use one lube for everything. Toys.
Right. I'm an out-of-towner. I don't want to add to my collection right now.
Exactly. So you have to know the products that you have on your shelf. You have to know what they match up to what you're currently selling in other sections of the store. And you need to know who those customers are that are going to buy that product. And that's really the key to selling a ton of lubricant. And we cover that in all our trainings.
I love it. Where can people find you, train with you, or ask weird questions about lube?
T Ferencz at ccwellness.com. There you go. So if you're a retailer and you need training, give us a buzz. We can do some stuff set up through distributors. We can do it individuals. Our team is on the road a lot. So if we're in your city and your store's nearby, we'd love to come in and stop in and see you. Also, I need to pitch the $100,000 contest. So System Joe is giving away $100,000 this year. I don't think anybody's given away that much money ever, an adult. We've given away $32,000 already. We give away $8,000 every month. All you need to do is sell Joe. All you need to do is send us a spreadsheet.
A lot of you are already doing that.
Yeah, if you're doing your job, if your associates are already doing their job, enter them in the contest. It's a great way to win either $100 or $500. One associate at the end wins $500. It's open to every brick and mortar around the globe. We randomly draw the winners. The more you sell, the more chances you get. It's very simple. All we need is a spreadsheet with the associate name, your store name, and how many bottles of Joe you sold. And then we track that through the distributors and who buys.
Hey,
so
if you need filtering your data really quick, I can help you. And I know how to bug Timothy here, right? So don't do it because maybe you're like, I don't know how to report it or if I'm qualified or not. If you have Joe and you have questions, reach out, but you're automatically qualified.
Yep. You can always post in P3. There's myself, Brendy, and JB here in the US, Rebecca and Shord in the UK and Europe, and then we have Nio in Australia. And we cover the entire
guys.
We cover the globe. So if you need something, just reach out. We'll be happy to direct you to your correct rep or the correct distributor and get you taken care of.
Love it. Oh, thank you, Michelle. She's so sweet. You. I love that we got to catch some people in Barcelona and Florida. That makes it fun on my new East Coast time. Ha ha. All right. So reach out to Timothy. He can do all the crazy language of lube for you guys. And we know it's hard out there. So if I can't quit and Timothy can't quit, you can't quit, right? It's not about how you fall. It's how you get back up. And this business does not fall from what I've seen. So why start now? If you want to get involved, here's some things you can email. Look, I got a Gmail for the Tuesdays with Tori. I'm getting there. And you can do the DMing of the things and find me on the Facebook page or just, jump in on Tuesdays and come chat because the show is its own sentient being at this point and it does what the industry needs. So if you need something, just let us know because we've got you covered. Literally. Okay. So next week, I've got my dear friend and the double hustler extraordinaire, Scott Lipton. He's going to talk about fantasy lingerie and our exotic journey because they're also one of those companies that's got like a million companies because why not? If they can get a farther reach and it works for them, we'll talk about that. And then I think the week after I snagged Dirty Lola into some stuff. So I'm like planning and I'm going to get some graphics and we're going to keep growing. And it's going to be amazing because you guys will make it amazing. And, hey, Andrew, bye, Andrew. If you need anything, reach out, but we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.